Oh, shit, I got to go back to my notes. All right, it says I'm live. How's everybody doing tonight? Doing all right? Outstanding. Welcome to Randsanity. This is episode 246. 246 of the live episodes of Randsanity. Do this every night at 11 p.m. And if you miss one, it's okay because they're different every night. They just have different shit every night. I talk about music stuff, entertainment stuff, a little bit, movies, TVs, a little bit, as long as there's music. Some of there has to be some musical connection. You know, it's like a party where you can only use lines from songs to have conversations, which is not as easy to do as you would think it would be. Dude with Dog is back. What's up, Dude with Dog? Yo, good to see ya. Look at all these happy faces tonight. Ashton's back. Dude with Dog is back. Josh Cowens is here. Nayi, who's going to leave in about 2 seconds. I'm watching. I can tell. So we got all sorts of fun stuff tonight. I talked about the Grammys a little bit last night. Let's talk a little bit about the Grammys tonight. This is not a ton. Because, I mean, if you want to go, there's just so much. There's 95 Grammys, and they don't show most of them on TV. You can see them beforehand. They happen on their website, like Grammys.com. And that's where the real fun stuff is. That's where a lot of the artists get their awards that you don't see. Rock categories and a lot of their categories happen there. So, hey, wait, I have things on my head. How did that happen? I don't know how do you do that. That's crazy. All right. I had like a pompadour. That's great. I don't think I've ever had a pompadour. Dude with Dog. I love that. I was a pompadour. Outstanding. I like the glasses too. Anyway, we'll start off with a little bit of Megadeth, all right? Because I found this to be funny. Like, wow. Megadeth's final album, all right? Their final album, because they said, we're done. We're not doing this, all right? It's their 17th and final record. It landed a major milestone. It was released on January 23rd, and it's their self-titled project that came out on the Billboard 200. It marks the first album to do so in their 40-year career. It's the first time they've ever made it into the top of the Billboard 200. Never in 40 years. The band's highest charting album during the 200 was Countdown to Extinction, released in 1992. The record peaked at number 2 during its first week of chart eligibility. The new album moved 73,000 equivalent album units in the United States per Metal Injection. So number 1 on the Billboard 200. First time ever. We're going to finally, this is it. This is our last album. And okay. You're number 1. Woo! Well, that's nice. I think that's great. They made history. That's so funny. Megadeth's founding member, Dave Mustaine, issued a statement. After 40 years delivering Megadeth music and playing shows around the world, I have nothing but gratitude to this moment. He penned, finding out that our latest Megadeth record is also our first number 1. Only further validates we will go out on top. Oh, they love that. That's so great. So they are going to do a world tour, and it starts like it did start in Tennessee, but then it went right to BC, British Columbia. So right now, let's see, tonight, I mean, there's a break, but they'll start in BC on the 15th, and then they're in Canada for a while. They're in Manitoba, they're in Ontario, Halifax, Quebec City. Then they're off to Peru, Colombia, Buenos Aires, Mexico, Brazil, Chile. I mean, they're rolling this thing. They're really moving this thing out. Then they're going to be to Germany, Turkey, Kazakhstan, back in Germany, back in Canada. And then they finally make it back to the States in September. They're in Virginia. Then they're going to be in Charlotte, Hershey, PA, Minnesota, Illinois, California, Texas, Jersey a couple times. And then their last show is at the Garden in Boston on 9/9. Well, that's weird. 9/29. That's how come it's out of order. I've never seen them screw that up. That's so weird. All right. Yeah, I guess the last show is actually San Antonio, Texas on 9/29. Maybe that's 10/9 they're thinking of. They just hallucinated. But anyway, so if you like Megadeth, you can catch them one more time, it looks like. Anywhere, pretty much in the world. No matter where you live, you can go see this show. So I just think that's funny. 40 years to make it to number one when you release an album. God bless Megadeth for hanging in there for 40 years. You gotta love that and give them credit for doing it, all right? I mean, shit. I don't know if I could hang it for 40 years and do anything. Oh, shit, what did I just do? I just totally closed my browser. All my notes. All right, there we go. All right, I'm like, what did I do? My notes. All right, let's see. We'll go back to the beginning here. Sorry, I'm ill-prepared when I screw things up like this. Ta-da! All right, here we go. All right, so we're going to go back to 1959 because Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper all appeared at the Surf Ballroom, Clear Lake, Iowa. Today, 1959, February the 2nd. This was the all three acts' last gig ever. Because tomorrow is the day the music died. This is the day the plane crash happens. Tomorrow, on the 3rd of February, when Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper were all killed in a plane crash. So that's the song, Bye Bye Miss American Pie, drove my show to the day the music died. There it is. We got more people that died on this, though. The Beatles, they didn't die, but they played their first professional organized gig outside of Liverpool at the Oasis Club. Oasis Club. Maybe that's why Oasis is obsessed with them and they named themselves that, the Gallagher brothers. From Manchester, the Oasis Club. They have their own club. I don't know. They started with a version of the Hippie Hippie Shake. Jimi Hendrix appeared at the Blue Pad in Darlington, England, which is part of the Imperial Hotel complex on Grange Road. The show is advertised as "Don't miss this man who is Dylan, Clapton, and James Brown all in one." After the show, as the roadies were loading up a van, one of Hendrix's Fender's guitars was stolen. Oh, man. Someone's got that and making some cashola. Now, this is why you don't do stupid shit like this, musicians. Keith Emerson of Emerson, Lake and Palmer injured his hand when his piano rigged to explode as the stunt detonated prematurely. I hate when artists detonate prematurely. During a concert in San Francisco. That was 1973. We don't blow shit up like that anymore. We miss that. We're not allowed to do that. So don't blow shit up. Stop that. Stop blowing things up. 1976, I'm buzzing through some of these. I'm just bored with them. So, Genesis released A Trick of the Trail, their 7th studio album and the first to feature Phil Collins on drum as full-time lead vocalist following the departure of original vocalist Peter Gabriel. After auditioning over 400 vocalists, which saw Collins teaching the potential lead singers the songs, the band decided that Collins should be the new vocalist. I guess, if you're the understudy and the guy, All right. The punkest punk band ever to exist. On this day, February 2nd, 1979, the Sex Pistols bassist Sid Vicious, at the age of 21, died of a heroin overdose in New York City. There had been a party to celebrate his release on $50,000 bail pending his trial for the murder of his former girlfriend, Nancy Spurgeon. And previous October, this happened. So he was in jail. He was in the tombs. Supposedly Mick Jagger's the one who spent the money to get him out on bail. And they had a party for him. Party guests said that Vicious had taken heroin at midnight. An autopsy confirmed that Vicious died from the accumulation of fluid in his lungs. And that was consistent with heroin overdose. A syringe, spoon, and heroin residue were discovered near the body. Oh, Sid Vicious. Came into the world and went out the same way he did. Just yelling and kicking and screaming. And that was the end of the punkest punk band ever. Sid Vicious on this day gone. In 1989, George Michael received an undisclosed amount in damages of excess of $170,000 from the Sun newspaper over articles printed that stated George Michaels had gate crashed a party given by Andrew Lloyd Webber and was drunk and abusive. I don't know. I can't see George Michael being drunk and abusive. I can see him being drunk. I don't know about abusive. He didn't seem like he was that kind of guy. But I don't know. The Sun must have had some insight to print something like that. So maybe he was just drunk. Not abusive, but drunk. Oh, Willie Nelson, his troubles never end. In 1993, Willie Nelson agreed to pay $9 million of the $16.7 million he owed the Internal Revenue Service. His accountants, Price Waterhouse, had not been paying Willie Nelson's taxes for years. Apparently not. In addition to the unpaid taxes, Willie's situation was worsened by the weak investments he had made during the 1980s. Willie, what are you doing? That's why he always was hiding from the man, because he owed them $16 million. Shit. If I owed someone $16 million, that means I had money in the beginning to have money. So I don't know. Where does that all come from, right? How do you fix that? You pay the man. You pay the man. Okay, so this is all this. I can't make this shit up, right? In 2001, Bad Manners singer Buster Bloodvessel, hand to God, that's the name, was told he was too fat to survive and urgently needed an operation. Buster collapsed on stage during a show in Italy, but doctors felt that his huge 30-stone frame, 30 stones is 420 pounds to us, Americans, his 420-pound frame might not make it through surgery. Buster Bloodvessel. It's like Captain Corpuscle. I mean, what? Vera Venus. Wow. In 2002, the Phonographic Performance Limited launched PerformanceMoney.com for artists to check and see if they're owed any of the $17 million in unclaimed monies. It showed that Michael Jackson was owed over $170,000 for Say, Say, Say. Stevie Wonder had money owed for Ebony and Ivory, and Ray Davies of the Kinks was owed a six-figure fee for You Really Got Me. Director Dominic McGonigal said, if anyone has seen Rick Astley, please let him know he's still earning money on his hits. Sure, unclaimed funds. So if you want to go see if you made any money because you're a performer, please go to performersmoney.com. You never know. Maybe you, sang in the shower, someone recorded it, and you're making money from it. I don't know. I'm going to attempt that tonight. I'll sing in the shower and make money tonight. Let's see. Yeah, Russian Girls, first act. Nope, don't care. 2004, TV network CBS apologized for its broadcast of the American Super Bowl after Janet Jackson was left exposed when Justin Timberlake ripped off her top. The pair had been performing a raunchy halftime duet when one of Jackson's breasts was exposed as Timberlake pulled at her top. CBS quickly cut away from the scene, but was still flooded with calls from angry viewers about the halftime entertainment produced by MTV. Timberlake insisted it had been an accident, saying, I'm sorry that anyone was offended by the wardrobe malfunction during the halftime performance of the Super Bowl. Look, it's Janet's boob. And, she showed her nipple as well. Dun-dun-dun. Okay, let's see. Die, don't care, don't care. Spice Girls. They cut the reunion tour short, blaming personal family commitments, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. Spice Girls. Now this one's fun. Look in your grandpa's basement, okay? 2013, a 1960s Beatles record player produced for fans as a commercial Beatles memorabilia item fetched $12,000 in an online auction. The record player, which was highly sought by Beatles collectors worldwide, was manufactured in a limited quantity. Because of this, some believe there was still a strong possibility a few remaining players are out there still undiscovered. So check Grandpa's basement. See if they've got an old Beatles record player. It's worth about 15 to 20 grand at this point. Now this one's just, okay, I can't make this shit up. You need a pump order to keep it up for that. You need the pump order. Oh, right. The pompadour, right. I'm like, the pump order, what? The pompadour. Yes, I do. I need the pompadour. All right, this one's just wrong. All right, this is seriously. 2014, Skinny Puppy. If you've ever listened to the band, all right, they're definitely, pretty aggressive. But anyway, Skinny Puppy sent the U.S. government an invoice after finding out their music was used as a torture device in Guantanamo Bay. Despite the band's very aggressive sound, they said that they have never envisioned their music being used in such a way. When asked how they felt about their songs allegedly being used in the detention camp, singer C. Evan Key replied, "Not too good. We never supported these types of scenarios because we make unsettling music. We can still see it being used in a weird way, but it doesn't sit right with us." Right? I want to know who it sits right with. Who actually produces music like, yeah, I'd like to have my music used as a torture device, please? Just saying. All right, so this one gets a little deep. I'm going to have to explain some of these things because it confused me too. All right, in 2018, Liam Gallagher forced Park Life Festival to ban potato peelers at his forthcoming appearance at the festival. Park Life in Manchester banned potato peelers after being swamped with requests following the announcement of Liam Gallagher as a headliner. Okay, apparently this went back to Liam asking fans to peel some spuds at a gig in 2017 after his brother's Noel's appearance on the Jules Holland TV show Later. It was a dig at the decision by Noel to have one of his bands play the scissors. Liam had referred to his brother as a potato on a number of occasions. Okay, I had to go look and research. I spent about an hour, just dive into this. I was like, there's so much here to unwrap. All right, first of all, yes, it appears that Liam referred to him, Noel, as a potato on many references. A couple of different times called him a potato, called him potato. And there's a couple of articles about jokes of potatoes about that. Now, this whole thing where Noel's, this dig at Noel for having one of his bands play the scissors. So apparently one of his band mates, one of the women, she was French, and there was an interview with him talking about this, that she was like, oh, you can just play the tambourine. And she was like, she was very French. So, the tambourine. Well, what about the shaker? I don't do the shaker. So you can just bring out whatever you want to bring out. So she came out the next day in this hood, and she had a scissor. I did look at it's a percussion instrument. You use like a metal stick to bang on it. So I guess it makes like some sort of a clanky noise, like clink, 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 clink. I'm guessing. Now, what they said was again, Liam, again, basically said that Noel was going to glass himself when he read all this. And I was like, what the hell? Glass himself meaning take a bottle and smash it on your own head. Like, he's going to glass himself. So this whole little thing was just so weird that I was like, what the hell? So yes, peel some spuds because he could hold a potato. And yes, he had his bandmate play the actual scissors, like metal scissors. The whole thing was weird. But yes, apparently, again, if you read more about these guys, they definitely were not loving each other at that point. Oh, and we got the Douchebag of the Day award. Marilyn Manson, dropped by his record label following claims by actress Evan Rachel Wood that she was horrifically abused by the musician. Loma Vista Recordings said it would no longer be working with Manson and would cease promoting his latest album in 2021, effective immediately. Manson denied the allegations, saying they are horrible distortions of reality. Mr. Marilyn Manson, just so you know. And then there's a couple of deaths. Guy from Jamiroquai, guy from MC5. Yeah, there you go. All right, I'm not going to talk about deaths. I'm just going to move on if that's all right. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about Youngblood. So last night, Youngblood was at the Grammys. Now, like I said, I met Youngblood. He actually came into their station, and he was very nice. He really was. We caught him a couple years ago, so he was just sort of, still coming up. And we said we could make a drinking game out of hanging out with him easily, because every other word of his mouth was fucking brilliant. Oh my God, it's fucking brilliant. Oh, I love you guys. You're fucking brilliant. I was like, okay, every time he says fucking brilliant, go ahead and drink. And sure enough, that would be, we wouldn't last very long because, like I said, that was a constant out of his mouth. But anyway, super nice guy, super creative guy, very energetic. I mean, I'm energetic, but this guy was, wow. Anyway, his first Grammy win, the 2026 Grammy, current rock sensation. Pilot error. My bad. Not paying attention. See what happens? I don't pay attention. The camera goes off. I fade to black, and I don't intentionally mean to. And what happens? Here I am. Back to this. Anyway, so he won his first ever Grammy last night. He was nominated for 3 awards: Best Rock Performance for Changes, live from Villa Park, Best Rock Album for Idols, and Best Rock Song for Zombie. Now, while the rock categories are among some of the ones that aren't televised, so those are the ones you have to see that are given out at the premiere ceremony. That's the one that you can see at Grammys.com. So it took place before the televised event and included many more genre-specific categories than the main ceremony. Remember, there's 95 awards. They don't show you all 95, believe me. You get to see about 10. The broadcast included a tribute performance to Ozzy, where Youngblood took his first win for the rock best performance. His performance of Black Sabbath's hit Changes took place at the Back to the Beginning concert celebrating Ozzy Osbourne prior to his death in 2025. Youngblood has since dedicated several live performances to Ozzy. He openly considered a great influence and a mentor. He did the same at the Grammys on February 1st, dedicating his win to the late rock legend. Now, Youngblood was against some pretty stiff competition for best rock performances. His fellow nominees included Linkin Park, Hayley Williams, Turnstile, Amonal and the Sniffers, and he won it. His passionate performance of Ozzy Osbourne's farewell concert won over the Grammy voters. He took the stage to accept the award alongside Sharon Osbourne, who was visibly emotional throughout the night. To grow up loving an idol who helped you develop your identity, not only a musician, but as a man, is something that I'm truly grateful for, Youngblood said. Now, I'm not using the Youngblood accent because otherwise you'd be like talking like, fucking brilliant. But then to get to know them and to form a relationship with them and to honor them at their final show and receive this because of it is something that I think we are finding a bit strange to comprehend. We fucking love you, Ozzy, he continued. We would like to thank Sharon, Jack, Kelly, and Amy for this opportunity and everyone at the Back to the Beginning show. 6 generations of rock musicians came together in the name of our genre, in the name of Sabbath, in the name of Ozzy Osbourne. God bless fucking Ozzy Osbourne. So there you go. Youngblood wins his Grammy, dedicated all to Ozzy. Now, some people are tapping him as the new Ozzy. I don't know. When he performed, I didn't really feel that from him, but I mean, all right. If that's where he's going to go, that's where he's going to go. All right? I'm just saying. All right, we're going to skip and go to a little bit of births and deaths, and then maybe one more little thing we'll jump in. Just a little bit, okay? So, let's see. Births and deaths on this day? All right. So, born on this day, Anne Rand. All right. Anne Rand. She would have been 121 years old today, but she wrote Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead. She died in 1982. I don't know if you've ever read those. Read them. They're interesting as fuck. Really are. It's like, okay, wow. I see why there's a cult following for this. It's like Dianetics, like L. Ron Hubbard. If you've never read Dianetics, read it. It's just worth it. But don't get into the cult. Don't fall into the cult. Elaine Stritch, born on this day. She would have been 101 years old today. She was Jack Donaghy's mom on 30 Rock. So she was basically, Jack's mom. She was that sort of curmudgeon-y thing, sort of like Walters was, who I talked about last night. Just that sort of just no nonsense, take no shit grandma type of role. Dwayne Jones, Ben from Night of the Living Dead. Remember him? He was the star of the movie The Night of the Living Dead. George Romero's first sort of foray into horror zombie movies, the very first one. He would have been 89 today. He died back in 1988. Farrah Fawcett, her birthday today, poster child of many growing up. I did not have a Farrah Fawcett posted, just so you know. She would have been 79 today. She died back in 2009. She died young, if you think about that. So, Brent Spinner, who played Data on Star Trek, is 77 today. Now, as Star Trek always does, this is also Data's birthday. And Data, who was born in the year 2338. That's how it works. And he was born in Taurus Omicron, whatever the hell that is. Just a made-up place. So yes, so the actor Brent Spinner, his birthday's actually today, and his character on Star Trek, his birthday is today as well, but not for like another 1,000 years. Christy Brinkley, 72. She was in the red car in Vacation. I'm like, she was also married to Billy Joel for like a decade. Good old Billy Joel, Robert DeLeo, backup vocals for Stone Temple Pilots, is 60 today. Gemma Atherton, 40 years old. She was a Bond girl in Quantum of Solace. Graham Nash of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, also of the Hollies, is 84 today. I saw a picture of Graham. He looks like he's 84 today. Yes, definitely. That is a old rock star looking guy. Ross Vallejo of Journey is 77. They're going out on tour, and it's like, this is our last tour. He's 77. So yeah, if you're 77 and touring, man, you got to have the Mick Jagger genes. That's a pretty rough thing to be on the road every night. At 77, he's going to need a nap. James Murphy, LCD Sound System, 56 today. Shakira, 49 today. And then we talk about in the deaths today, Deaths today, we know that Sid Vicious died on this day at the age of 21. Now, interestingly enough, this one I found to be really kind of this very unique kind of coincidence. All right, you ready for this one? All right, so on this day in 1996, Gene Kelly died at the age of 83. Okay, and he was famous for, one of his songs was Singing in the Rain. On this day in 1972, the movie Clockwork Orange was released in the United States. And Malcolm McDowell, who was Alex Delage, sang that song while he performed a horrific scene in the movie A Clockwork Orange. I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. So yes, that is a brutal scene from Clockwork Orange where he sings, I'm singing in the rain. Released on this day, 1972, the same day that Gene Kelly, who wrote the song, died decades later. So just play the lottery for that one. Wow. Also died on this day, Boris Karloff died at the age of 81 in 1969. He was the mummy. He was the mummy in Frankenstein. And Philip Seymour Hoffman died of a suspected drug overdose at the age of 46 in 2014. So 12 years ago, Philip Seymour Hoffman died. You'll have that. You'll have that. Like I always say, don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs. I had something else, but I skipped over it. So it was the Grammy stuff, but I don't really feel like talking about Grammy stuff. Just, did we get enough Grammy stuff yesterday? I think we did. That's all. Just enough Grammy stuff, right? Yes, no, maybe so? You tell me. I'd rather talk to people about something else. Hi, Kristen Holmes. And Do the Dog. So Do the Dog, what's going on? And Sierra. So did anyone find anything interesting about all that stuff tonight? I definitely found that the whole connection between Sing in the Rain, that's just such a weird coincidence. Really did. Just it's so strange that the coincidence that Gene Kelly's song Sing in the Rain, the day he died, is also the day that The Clockwork Orange was released. Very strange indeed. Oh, I found this interesting fact. In 1993, Frito-Lay, the company Frito-Lay, had to pay, Tom Waits was forced to pay $2.5 million because they used an unauthorized copy of his voice style in radio ads. So, can we get away with that today with all the things that you see? How many, things do you see or hear that you can AI generate? So can you get sued for that if you use it as a commercial thing, especially if it's a large company like that? I don't know. It'd be very interesting to see. I'm sure there'll be some things about that, but I just found it to be very interesting. It's kind of funny. That's me. I just find it to be a little bit interesting and unique that, you can get copyrights for just about anything. This is copywritten, Randsanity. I have a trademark on that. It takes a year to get that though. So that's why I find that to be it's very uniquely interesting that if you see somebody that comes out with a new product and it's already trademarked, it took them months to do that. It takes the government close to a year to trademark something. So it's not like it happens overnight. It's not like it's like, oh, I'm going to get a trademark and it happens the next day. It's like, no, you have to plan for that shit well in advance. You really do. It's kind of wild how trademarking works, especially for products and for brands and things. If you want to trademark something, the government doesn't give a crap if you spend the money on a lawyer or do it yourself. Doesn't matter. You still have to go through the process, and it takes a time. So so interesting that trademarking your own likeness, trademarking your voice, trademarking your name, things like that. It's an interesting field we're stepping into with the use of AI, especially because, we keep seeing government regulations saying that we're not going to pursue any, do what you want, have at it. Where deep fakes and everything else are just going to become more and more prevalent. And, you can watch some of these clone videos of people that are sitting there talking and they've got their clone of them that is not them clearly. It's a different sex, a different religion, different ethnicity, and it just does the same thing they do. So I think that that's, again, going to open up a very huge can of worms. So the idea of getting sued, like someone like a Frito-Lay, having to pay out this kind of money is going to be very much something in the rearview mirror. We're not going to see a lot of that. They're going to be able to take your likeness and they're going to be like, hey, that wasn't really him. So, it's your likeness. Is it really you, though? I don't know. That sort of goes back to, philosophy. If you ever take a philosophy class and someone questioned the idea of, the Star Trek transporter. If you step into the Star Trek transporter, is it you on the other side? Or is it a clone? Think about that. That'll rattle your brain for a minute. Think about the fact that if you step into a transporter and your little molecules are broken down into just little electrons and you get recreated somewhere else, is that you or is that a clone? Because now you have to talk about the soul and all the things that go along with that. And think about every time you're transported, is that was the original you just killed and this is now your clone? Don't let that make you too crazy. It could. I think it would not be you, personally. I don't think it's you anymore. I think it's your clone. I think it's someone completely different. Even though it may have every memory and be exactly the same, it's not you. It's your clone. Because you were destroyed and then rebuilt somewhere else. I knew you. Heavy shit. Heavy shit. Anyway, so my friends are like, you have to do a Doritos commercial. So I think I might work on a Doritos commercial. Because I guess you can get paid by TikTok for that. I had no idea. I'm like, all right, fine. Let's get paid by TikTok to make a Doritos commercial. That's why you stopped teleporting? Thank God. Now see, am I right or am I right? Right? Is that really you? Did you really get teleported? Clone insurance. Oh, good point. Good point. Now, that's expensive, though, I hear, right? Clone insurance is expensive, I'm imagining. I could see that. I could see where clone insurance would be expensive. I like that, clone insurance. I mean, you do right. I definitely think I'm going to try and do a good commercial. I'm going to try and do something. I have an idea. I have an idea for that. I mean, come on. I did commercials for 30 years. I mean, I really did. I mean, I wrote copy for 30 years. So, I mean, I wrote a lot of commercials. That's what I did. As a radio guy, that's what I do. I do commercials and I do, radio stuff. I do interviews. I do all that stuff, The face for radio. Behind the scenes. Well, because, you can't see people on radio. Well, you couldn't before. Now you can, because now we can live stream and everything else. But before, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff for us. We weren't really public. They just heard voices in the background. It was just, that's who we were. We were the background sounds of your life. But that's, that's neither here nor there. As radio is a very changed thing, very changed medium. So, anyway, all right. I think that's it. I think I'm done. I think I'm going to move on. I'm going to go hit the couch. Is tonight Tuesday or is it Monday? It's Monday, right? Is it Monday? Crap. Oh yeah, it is see, holy crap. I totally screwed up then. Wow, I totally screwed up. It is Monday, isn't it? See, I have no comprehension of time. I really don't. I totally screwed the pooch today. I cannot believe I did that. All right. Shit. Whoopsie. Oh, well, I'll get it fixed. So tomorrow's Tuesday. All right. Great. Well, I have an appointment tomorrow that I guess I'm going to not miss now in about 12 hours. Jesus. Clone insurance. I needed that. Where's my clone insurance? I totally need that clone insurance. Oh, that's amazing. Amazing. All right. I'll be here tomorrow. We'll do this all again, but completely different. I may work on my Doritos commercial tomorrow. If I do, I'll make sure I premiere it here. I have to have someone help me, though. I need someone to help film this because I won't be able to film it all myself. I might be able to, but we'll see. It might involve a green screen and props. It might get too elaborate. Because once again, I'm Cecil B. DeMille when it comes to making videos. I have to do everything perfect. All right. I'm going to move over here. Not spill my liquid. See, breaking rules already. Never have liquids in the studio. Never. That was a rule always. Because when you knock it over and it lands on the computer and you destroy a very piece of expensive equipment, the boss gets mad at you. And being that I'm the boss, I'm going to get really fucking mad. Shit. All right. Over to this camera. Appreciate you. Grateful for you stopping in tonight and hanging out, friends. Do the dog. Kristen Holmes, nice to see you. Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Good to see you. I can't really see you, well, because, you know, you're on the other side. Unless you type and speak to me, I really can't see you or make comment other than just seeing that your name is there. Unless you say something, then I'd be like, oh, okay. I totally agree with that. I don't. I typically don't agree with it. I'm very disagreeable, if you could tell. All right. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go do my thing, which is not be cloned tonight. Not be cloned tonight. Sent a music album. All right, dude with dog. Well, thank you for the music album. I don't know what a music album is, but that's beautiful. It's a thing. It's outstanding. All right. Don't forget, please like, follow, subscribe, share, and watch. Like, follow, subscribe, share, watch. Yes, those are the 5 things. I have them written. See, I write everything down. See, my notes. I'm a pompadour again. Sweet. I like the pompadour. The pompadour is fun. I've never had a pompadour. I've always had long hair. This is short. You know, my hair used to be like down to my shoulders. It was time to get it cut, though, you know. Old rock stars just look creepy with long hair like that, so. Unless they have, you know, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to let that one go. I'm just going to shut up at this point. Thank you for being here. Grateful. Truly. Thank you. I'll be here again tomorrow. We'll do this all again, but totally different. And you never know what musical facts you might learn and what fun we might have together, so. Get a good night's sleep. Do good things for people, all right? The world needs that right now. We need more good deeds done, all right? I tried to do a good deed today. I tried to do a good deed the other day, too. There was a guy standing out in the freezing cold, and he asked if I had any money. I was like, I don't. I didn't have any cash on me. But I said, you know, if you want, I said, dude, I'll grab you something to eat, man. It's cold. You'd like to stand out here. So I went up to Wendy's, and I, you know, picked up a couple burgers, fries, and a nice hot coffee. When I came back, he was gone. I was like, bro, I was gone for like 10 minutes. I drove up the street. You know, I spent money up. Nope, he wasn't even there. I went inside, looked for him, looked around. Nope, nowhere to be found. I was like, all right. So I had Wendy's for lunch. What are you going to do? No good deed goes unpunished. We'll leave that note right there. Appreciate you. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Like tomorrow. Fade to black. Oh, shit. I have way too much fun.